Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to Paws On Animation and our podcast.
And today's podcast is doing an all-new list, this time covering our top 21 animated couples.
You asked for it, you've been waiting patiently, and finally we give it to you now. And this list covers nearly all of our favorites because there's too many of the list. But trust us, it's still going to be a fun time.
But before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, and hope to catch you some future podcasts and one of Paws videos.
Absolutely. Thanks for subscribing, for sharing our videos, for joining us, and for commenting. We appreciate you so much.
Yes.
So, let's find out if any of your favorites have made our top 21 animated couples list.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Yeah, and just want to let you know, this is in no specific order.
Right.
So, if you're ready, so are we. Let's get started.
I'm ready.
And number one,
Lance and Laura from Voltron Legendary Defender.
Yes, we love this ship. We know there were some that didn't, but we love it. And I remember Rascal saying we should have known from the beginning, when it first started, the first episode, how he interacted with her, that's whom she was going to end up with.
Right. And a lot of people weren't sure because with the first two seasons, it looked like it was just one-sided and him just being Lance being Lancey Lance and didn't take it seriously. But you could tell the series went on. You could tell it was more than just him messing around. He really did start to like her, and then it came to a full thing by the last two seasons.
And they absolutely loved each other by the end. We got our bittersweet ending.
Unfortunately, yes.
But we still adore this ship.
Yes.
Number two, we have Aang and Katara from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yes.
This is definitely one of a long-time favorites couples.
And it's funny because we actually ended up rewatching Avatar yet again recently and saw some of their best episodes and times together, and every time we see them, it never gets old. We see them interact with each other and Aang being a mess.
What makes this a favorite is you get to see the progression of the relationship from the very beginning all the way to the end of the series.
Yes.
And then even Legend of Korra, you get to see Grandma Katara, and you know that they ended up together until he passed. And it's like, oh, this is so sweet. They stayed together, they got together, they stayed together, they grew together.
Yes.
And they're both adorable in their own way. Yes, I know he's the Avatar.
Right.
He's still adorable.
The 112-year-old Avatar.
Yes. And you just love the dynamic. And again, seeing the growth of their relationship.
Yes.
And knowing that they ended happily ever after.
Yes, and that's one of the best outcomes for a couple in animation.
Absolutely. Number three.
Now, Sokka and Suki, once again from Avatar: Last Airbender.
Yes, and they were adorable as well. Sokka's dorky, Suki's cool, but she still loves her dorky man.
Right. And it was believable. Both characters went through growth, especially Sokka.
Absolutely.
And it's not a ship that's talked about as much as Aang, Katara, and some others, which is okay. But you knew what was important with them and their growth together, which is why we prefer them in the animated version rather than Netflix, where they just cut out all their growth and skip straight to tension.
And this is one of those ships that people tend to love. You have a strong woman with a strong man, and yes, Sokka was strong.
Yes.
He didn't have bending abilities, but he was smart and capable and a strategist. He had to grow as a person, and he did.
Right.
So we love this ship, and hopefully at some point in the new series that's coming out, we find out what happened with Sokka and Suki. Did they end up together forever like Aang and Katara?
Yeah,
Can't
we
wait
do
to find out. Number four, Ron Stoppable and Kim Possible.
Yes. This one was an oldie but a goodie.
Yes.
And this is one of the ones that took people by surprise because you really didn't expect them to get together at the time the show was on. You did kind of root for it, but you always thought, okay, if they stay friends, it's fine. Then you had the drama movie where it came in, and originally it was just going to stop there with them getting together and be done. And then we found out that due to popular demand and Disney listened, they gave it one extra season, and you actually got to see them together for a season, and it was fun.
The good old days.
Yeah, when Disney listened.
And what you really like about this show, and I think most people who do, is Ron was just carefree and fun and loyal. And he loved Kimmy from the start. Mm-hmm. And Kimmy had to catch up.
Yes.
She had to date her other people.
Right.
She had to have her other crushes. And she had to realize that her perfect man was in front of her all along.
Right. And our favorite movie had the Stitch in Time movie, and he was unable to get there in time, and you're thinking, oh, well, he's not that important, clearly, because she does all the work. No, he's so important. Every time he didn't arrive in time, the villains got away. So it showed, as soon as he was important to their dynamic.
Yes. Number 5.
We have Jeremy and Candace from Phineas and Ferb.
Yes, we
Mom!
love this ship.
Mom! Phineas and Ferb put me in a top 21 list.
It's so funny how Candace was this goofy, crazy, wild personality.
We love
and
her.
Jeremy was her complete and total opposite.
Hey,
And that's why they
he
ended
was
up
so
together.
chill. Yes, he was so chill.
And he was sweet.
Yes.
And no matter what Candace did, he still put up her crazy butt.
Yes.
And she was crazy.
She was, yes. And to this day, it's still one of the best VA performances ever. And you actually did like their chemistry together when they talked, because Candace just was weird as heck, and he just kept going with it, with how he went, hee.
And I think it also worked that you adored Candace,
Yeah.
of her crazy self.
And trying to
You
bust
really
her
just
brothers.
adored her. Yes. You couldn't help liking her, no matter how goofy and offbeat and crazy she was. You couldn't help loving her. And you were very happy when she finally ended up with Jeremy.
Right.
And it was great to know that he liked her almost from the beginning as well.
Right.
Number 6 is Batman and Wonder Woman, known as Wonder
Wonder
Bat,
Bat.
Justice League version.
Yes.
This is my favorite version. My favorite superhero ship. My favorite version of Wonder Woman animated. Oh, I just love this ship.
Yes.
The Justice League Wonder Bat is the most perfect Wonder Bat.
Yes. And
I keep saying ship. Couples, guys. Couples.
Yeah, don't worry about it. And we didn't know anything about this couple until we watched the Justice League animated series, both of them, and saw they actually were pushing that as a ship. And it's one I don't think a lot of people even thought of until that show. And it's something that is strange, but yet the series makes it work. And it's hilarious that you see Wonder Woman and then she starts falling for Batman of all people. Not Steve Trevor in here, Batman.
What is wonderful about this particular dynamic is you have Wonder Woman, who's Wonder Woman, who can kick anybody's butt and can have any man she wants. And she falls for Batman, whose superpower is being a millionaire. And,
yes.
and just fighting for justice. And they fall for each other.
Yeah.
And yes, they are not the power couple some people wanted with shipping her with Superman. Personally, I just don't care for that one.
It was just like, huh, okay.
But I just like that he's brooding and quiet and the world's greatest detective, and he needs Alfred. And then you've got Wonder Woman, who's the total opposite, but she loves this man. And
my God,
I like
right.
the times we got to see during Justice League the dynamics of the relationship, and they had their private moments, and sometimes their little disagreements. It was like any other normal relationship.
Right.
And I think that's what makes it wonderful.
And even some Justice League members teased him about it. He's like, there's nothing there.
Number 7.
Hey, for you, Playmaker, Marco and Star from Star vs. the Forces of Evil.
Yes! Help but love this ship.
Yes.
I keep saying ship. You can't help but love this couple.
Yes.
I know it was a ship until the end.
Right.
But for us, I think for the fandom it became official long before Blood Moon Ball.
Yeah,
it was
like
official for us.
within the first teaser and intro, it became canon.
Yes. And you love their dynamic as well.
Right. And we understand this might be a little bit of a 50-50 for some, because of the end of the series with season 4, where they kind of...
It's official.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, for us, it's official. We still love it. We agree that they kind of rushed into it at the very end because look, they ran out of time, but we're fine with it being canon.
Official.
And we love
canon,
it.
It's official.
And we love it.
That's all that matters. You've got Marco and his dorkiness with Star and her lovableness and craziness. My favorite version of them as a couple, believe it or not, again, is season 1, which is my favorite season.
Still, yes.
One, because of the animation, you got to see all of the expressions that they both made, and you saw them in the beginning of their relationship, them not knowing that they were going to end up together,
right,
but the audience knowing they were.
Right.
So that's what makes my favorite season number 1, and my favorite part of their canon relationship, season 1 as well.
Yes.
Number 8 is Kevin and Gwen from Ben 10 Alien Force. You know we love this.
Yes.
We put it in so many videos. We put up so many clips for our random videos.
Right.
We talk about them incessantly.
Right.
So you guys knew that they were going to end up on this site.
And of course, they end up in some of our music videos too.
Yes.
And it's one that didn't expect to happen as well back when the show was on, because you know how Kevin was back when they had the classic series, and then him coming back in Alien Force, and him actually ended up becoming an ally and liking Gwen was very unexpected. But you do like how they had their relationship build up through the course of this series and for Ultimate Alien.
And I do like how each of them were necessary for the other to grow as people and as heroes.
Yes.
Because Kevin, I don't believe he would have become the hero and the person he was without Gwen.
Yes.
And Gwen wouldn't have been able to grow socially and learning to trust someone,
right,
other than Ben. Kevin getting himself in trouble with comments and
right.
It just makes this
a mistake of some kind.
a lovable couple. So the number 9
is Fred and Daphne from the Scooby-Doo franchise across the board.
There's no way they could not be a part of our favorite animated couples.
Right.
This is, as you say, an oldie but goodie. This series premiered originally in 1969. So from 69 to the present, you've got this long-standing couple.
Yeah.
And they are official, and they were official from the beginning.
Yeah.
Every time they had to split into teams, Daphne, you come with me. Daphne, you come with me.
Right.
Daphne, you come
eventually,
with me.
Velma just asked me, you know what, why is every time we split up, you gotta go with Daphne? And he could never answer.
And you've gotta know at some point, even though it's not said in the show, Fred and Daphne probably were making out during some of the they were together trying to But you love how in each version of the series that came out, their relationship differed.
Yeah.
Including Mystery Incorporated.
Yes.
And if you want to include the live action movies as well.
Yes, definitely. You had it in there too.
This has been a fun couple since the beginning up to the present. And I love how they've endured. Let us know which version of Fred and Daphne's couple is your favorite from which series in the comments.
Yes.
Number 10, Puss and Kitty Soft Paws
Yes.
from the Puss in Boots franchise.
movie.
Puss in Boots.
And
Sylvian.
yes, well, partially added because of you, but we genuinely do love this couple. And what made us love even more is like with everybody else was the release of the Last Wish movie, where they just upped the ante on every aspect of Puss in Boots, especially the couple.
Who's your favorite canon couple? You are. You are. Yes, you can't help love both of them. You have Puss, who in the first movie was a
trying to be a
gigolo
lover.
gatito.
Oh yeah, that was
in
pretty
the second
canon.
movie that was put to rest.
Oh my gosh, yeah, like wait a minute. Oh, they couldn't put this in this movie now.
You got Kitty, who had to come to like him in the first, who loved him by the second, and then you end up seeing them by the end of the second movie. They are a canon couple.
Canon, yes.
And everyone wanted it.
Yes. Even regardless of what they thought of the first movie, most people agree that was unexpectedly one of the best parts of the first movie and one of the best parts of the second film.
And I think the biggest thing that makes this canon couple work are the voice actors.
Yes.
Their performances. You just adore them as the characters. That chemistry comes through not only in how the characters are written and how they behave in the movies, but just the voice actors' performances makes them a favorite.
Yes.
Number 11
is Hank and Peggy Hill from King of the Hill. You're like, what? Like, what? Where did this one come from?
I tell you what. Yes, we love Hank and Peggy. And we know that some people are not fans of the series, but we are.
It's okay, right?
Fans of the series when it originally aired for me. Rascal becoming fans of the series after being able to watch them on DVDs and on reruns on TV.
Yes.
This is just a favorite couple. Their relationship is one of the most down-to-earth, common couple relationships that you can have.
Right. And the whole show is slice of life, and they have their weird little misadventures. But regardless, they kind of stay the same the whole time. And what's hilarious about them is that a lot of times their banter is just something you just could listen to them talk to each other all day. And their little things that they add in the comments and things like stuff happens at work or at home or with school with Bobby or something. And they have the little comments in there like they become about a waitress. And they said, well, you know, they said all this stuff about the waitress and that she knew everything. When I got there, she didn't know anything. So, well, they can be very flighty. And there's always a comment for everything that goes on. And it's almost like you could listen to this all day.
And they're so offbeat. Hank is so offbeat. It's like,
what?
How did he end up with a woman? And the only woman he could have ended up with is Peggy. And Peggy has this high idea of who she is as a person. And the only man that could have ended up with Peggy is Hank.
Right.
So they were made for each other. And the last thing I want to mention is how much they love each other. Is in one episode, Hank begins making coffins for them for after they pass.
Yes, that's actually
make
an
them
episode.
his and her coffins. So when she comes in and she goes, "Oh, nice work," and she looks in and she's like, "Why is your interior nicer than mine?"
Mine doesn't close.
And he says, "I'll fix that." Yes, you get on it right away. This will make this couple and why they're a favorite. Yeah. Number 12, Bandit and Chili from Bluey.
Yes.
There's no way they could not make this list.
Yes.
And I don't think it's a coincidence we ended up putting them right after Hank and Peggy. So they're the animated Hank and Peggy.
Right. And what's great about and funny about this couple is that they're probably one of the most realistically shown couples in the last few years, and they're two dogs. And the fact that
animated dogs.
Right, two animated dogs, and they're very healthy. They don't bicker and argue, and they're really positive role models, not just for the kids, but for other adults who are parents.
Absolutely.
And it's important because they're the best couple out here right now, because majority of the time, they always have the dad being an idiot, the mom knows everything, or they're bickering, or there's no couple, they're divorced or something. So having a healthy two-parent relationship was so refreshing and lovable. People immediately jumped on it.
And I love that Bandit has sense enough to know when to acquiesce to Chili.
Yeah.
When it gets a little heated, he just lets her win.
All right.
When she says, have it this way, he ends up doing it. And sometimes he'll try to put up a little bitty contest.
Fight, yeah.
But then he knows when to just let it go and that it's not worth it. And he just lets Chili have her way.
Right.
And then Chili just lets Bandit be Bandit.
Right.
All his funkiness, his farting, his stinking on his feet, his stinky breath, all the things that made Bluey go, oh! She just allows Bandit to be Bandit, and Bandit adores Chili. You'll get yours! And that was makes us love them as a couple.
Yes.
Number 13 is
Robin and Starfire from the 2003 Teen Titans series.
Oh my gosh, this is like one of my top favorites of all time.
Oh, definitely.
It will be forever. This is the perfect version of the Robin Starfire, I'm going to say ship.
Yes.
Because they have been put together in different versions, DC series as well as animated movies.
Right.
But this is where they were a canon couple
Right.
first.
Right.
In an animated series.
Right. And what a lot of people really loved about them is, yet again, the opposites attract sort of thing. And Robin was this really moody, brooding, serious guy because of Batman. And then Starfire, who you find out wasn't all bubbly at first, but once she's on Earth and gets used to it, she gets happy and sunshine, rainbows and puppies and everything. And
leaves
she
it
loves
to
Robin.
her to fall for Batman's hunt.
Right.
Of all the people she could have fallen for, she falls for Robin.
Right.
And he falls for her. And it's wholesome.
Right.
Their relationship is wholesome. And one of the funniest parts is when, I think her name was Kitty, when she came along and she's like, I want you, Robbie, to take me to the prom. And he didn't want to do it.
Starfire slaps her through the screen. Oh, it's a duel then? Oh, he accepts. And then when it's a prom, he does not accept. He does not accept. And she was angry the whole episode.
So for those of you who weren't sure that she liked this made it official. And then, of course, we get the ending with the Trouble in Tokyo movie.
Yes, where they finally become canon.
Yes, and it was a perfect ending, not only to the series, but also to us getting the canonization of our favorite couple in the Teen Titans series. This was just the ship that you wanted to be canon.
Right.
And it became one.
Yes.
Number 14 is Flynn and Rapunzel from the Tangled series.
Yes, both the movie and the show.
Love them first in the movie.
Yes.
And then you adore them in the series.
Right. And I think one big part now why people really love this ship and they go back to the movie years later is that this was the last movie that Disney did where they had a big romance movie and it skyrocketed into popularity. People loved it from beginning to finish. And then coming back years later with the series and seeing them grow together some more was even better. Which is like, it's like, Disney, why aren't you doing another Tangled or something like this again? This proved to be something people wanted.
Well, it's clear that with Wish they don't love, so.
Oh no.
But you like Flynn and his quirkiness, Rapunzel and her quirkiness, and their quirkiness just makes
The quirkiness.
a perfect quirky couple.
Right.
A perfection.
Yes.
It was just nicely done. And this is another case where the voice actors make it work.
Yes.
Their chemistry comes through in their performance, their delivery, their timing. Everything is perfect about how they portray these characters. And you love how Flynn loves her innocence and her wholesomeness, and she grows into being a young woman.
Yes.
And he helps her, even with him being a rascal.
And hey.
He helps her to become the princess that she needs to be and should be. And he even accepts her friends.
Yes.
He accepts all the baggage that comes along with her, and it makes it just a wonderful couple.
Yes, absolutely.
Number 15 is
Li Shang and Mulan from the first Mulan movie.
Yes. I don't know how this ended up happening, but the way this was written, I think people all around the world, everywhere, were loving this couple when they were going through the training. It was like you wanted them together. You just wanted them together. No matter what happened, you wanted them to be a couple.
Right. And knowing how the movie starts and finishes, and you know she's in the disguise of a guy, you knew at some point she was going to get found out. And there's been speculation and stuff about Shang and everything, but really what was important is that he saw this person, who they were at first, and then find out it was a woman, and it was done in a way where it wasn't like, oh, well, she's stronger than him or anything. She wasn't. She had to learn to be strong.
Yes.
He taught her to be strong, and then she kept elevating her skills after and was grateful to him. And then when it was found out she was revealed, he saved her and repaid it by not having them kill her when they found out she's a woman.
Right. And you loved how you saw the relationship grow again during the training, and then when they went out, I say in the field, and you could see how he was falling for her, not knowing it was her, and you could see him falling for her.
Yes.
And you knew she fell for him first. She
Right.
did. I don't care what you guys say. She fell for him first.
Right.
And then he fell for her. And he's a hottie. And she's gorgeous. And they both strong and capable, intelligent, and they were perfect for each other. And we're so happy they became a canon couple.
Yes. Ignore the second movie.
Yes. Number 16 is Jon Stewart and Shaira from the Justice League series.
Yes.
This is one of my all-time favorites.
It's like, why did they get rid of it?
Yes, Jon Stewart is our favorite Green Lantern, as you guys know.
Right.
Shaira was just perfect for him. She was gutsy, and she's a broad, and she's bubbly, and she's tough, and she's gorgeous, and she's messy, and she's trying to be better. And I think that's what makes their coupledom really a different dynamic from all the others. Jon Stewart's already a hero, and you know that he's honorable and loyal and dependable, and he's just this great person all around.
Right.
Shaira's got mess all coming with her from the planet they came from.
Yes.
And then you find out more about her mess later, that she was already betrothed to someone. She didn't want to be with him.
Oh my gosh.
She ran off. She's in love with John. And then that mess comes into
Oh
play.
my gosh, yeah, with the finale.
And through all of it, you could see that they really loved each other. And it looked like at one point when the Hawk people came.
Yeah. Denegarians, yeah.
Thank you. And they were betrayed by them. And you didn't know what was going to happen. But he accepted her, baggage and all. And we know that later on, in their canon coupledom, they have a child.
Yes.
Warhawk.
Yes, you got it.
And so we're so glad that it became canon. And this is just a favorite ship of ours. It's not one that's talked about very often, if at all.
Not anymore, no.
But we absolutely love this couple.
Right.
Number 17.
Shrek and Fiona from the Shrek franchise.
They had to be in here. You could not have a top animated 21 couples, yes, I got it backwards, without having Shrek and Fiona.
Yes. And, I mean, what else can you really say about them? They were probably one of the best couples in DreamWorks history.
Yes.
And it still holds that place even to now. Even with 4 movies, 2 spin-off movies, spin-off shows, and everything. This is still one of the most favorite couples. And now we're getting a 5th movie, so it fits even better.
And I think this will always be the favorite DreamWorks couple.
Very enduring,
forever
too.
and ever and ever and ever and ever.
Right.
Now they have, let's just say, the 5th movie coming, and I hope their relationship is the same, and it doesn't take some twisted turn.
Yeah,
because you've got to see it develop from movie 1 all the way through movie 4. And we want them to have a happily ever after.
Right, because they're one of the most strangest couples, but greatest couples.
Number 18 is Tramp and Lady from Lady and the Tramp, the Disney movie.
The Tramp.
And this is one of those OG canon couples.
Yes, another Disney classic.
And on top of that, animals, 2 dogs that you just adored whenever you've seen the movie. This movie came out in the 50s, and this is still one of the favorite animal movies that Disney has produced, and one of the favorite couples of all time.
Right.
And it's so funny that they're a gruff dog and a lady dog.
Yes.
And you love how they meet in the movie. You love how he wants to protect her. You love how she's so ladylike.
Yes, it was so funny. And we love that the most in the original animated movie.
Yes. The live action, not so much.
She wasn't much of a lady. Which was so weird to see.
That personality she had that you adored wasn't there. Same for Tramp.
And Tramp had a grudge against humans because he was abandoned. It was like they took the fun out of it when they remade it. So we just stick with the OG.
And it was perfect how they ended up with their own little puppies
at
the end. And yes, it is my persona. And thank you, Rascal.
Yes.
But this is one of our favorites for sure.
Yes.
Number 19.
Hugh and Judy Neutron from the Jimmy Neutron franchise.
Yes. Jimmy Neutron.
Yes. And those probably like, well, why them? Well, they're another offbeat parent couple that you didn't expect to like, but you do. And this is one of the times where they had the goofy dad and the straightforward mother. And it actually worked because the dad did have pretty much a lot of sense. He was just silly. He had his hobbies with his ducks. He did his best to raise Jimmy. And the mom really took care of a lot of things. They both took care of Jimmy.
And in this case, she was truly the brains
She
of the
had
couple.
to be, yes.
She was.
And but there were times when the dad could take charge in his own weird way, but he wasn't incompetent. He was just silly. That's it. And they actually did work well together, and they loved each other.
And they were lovable. You liked when they had their little moments when they would be sweet with each other.
Yeah, sugar booger.
And I loved that Jimmy wasn't embarrassed of them.
Right.
That made it
right.
Perfect.
And they're perfectly fine with the son being this Einstein-level genius. Just don't put the rockets on the roof.
Number 20 are Harold and Howard McBride of
From the Loud House. Yes.
You adore
their dad.
relationship and their craziness and their idiosyncrasy.
Yes, and
you love how much they love Clyde.
And their OCD on practically every single thing, overprotective of Clyde.
And having to see their therapist every day.
Right, and it's like, man, how many times you gotta go? And then it's funny because that's where Clyde gets all of these skills and things from. Majority of it is from the dads because they pretty much have taught him as much as possible. He's done so many things. And then you got Lincoln, who's one of the most reckless kids there. And it's even more hilarious because Lincoln actually even enjoyed spending time with his dads because they gave him some attention. They paid attention. They were kind and everything. And you do like their relationship, especially in the early seasons. In latter ones, they tend to kind of go up and down on how they react. They get a little more crazy in the latter seasons, and sometimes this works, sometimes it's like, okay, it's a little too much, but as far as it as a whole, you still find them endearing, just as you do Lincoln's parents in the early seasons.
And I think, again, this is another case where the voice actors make this work.
Yes.
You have Michael McDonald and you have Wayne Brady, and their delivery is perfect, their comedic timing is perfect. Especially since they're both comedians prior to being voice actors. They get there one day where they get to deal with the Louds, and they think that they want all these kids, and then they get with the Louds and they drive them batty, and they're happy just to be with their one lovable Clyde. You just adore this couple.
Yes.
And number 21, last but not least,
Wally West and Artemis Croc from the Young Justice franchise. My gosh, what have you done?
And we know that this is one you probably didn't expect to see.
Right.
It's not out of left field. When this series was on, this was our favorite ship.
Yeah, a lot of
canon
people.
Couple in season 2.
Right. And a lot of people actually end up really liking them as they developed in season 1 towards the end.
And for those of you that don't know it, this is our favorite version of Wally West.
Yes,
and
to
we
date.
were so happy to see him get a girl, well, let me put it a different way, to see him get his girl, his own Spitfire.
Right.
We were so happy when it happened and it became canon. And, of course, if you've seen Young Justice, you know what happens in season 2. They got robbed in their relationship.
Yes!
But this is our favorite canon couple of the Young Justice series. Yes, there was the Superboy and McGann, and you had others, but this was the couple for us.
Yes.
Their quirkiness, their growing to like each other, especially Wally, because he flirted with every woman that was around.
Except her.
And then he ended up with the one he didn't flirt with.
Right, go figure.
He got his own Spitfire. As Dr. Fate's host.
Yes.
So, how many of your favorites made our list for 21 animated couples?
Yes.
Let us know in the comments.
Yes, and if you really love these, you know you're going to probably recommend some more stuff to us in your list. And if you haven't already, subscribe for updates to weekly videos for your anime series, anime shows, and all things animation.
Absolutely. But thank you for your patience in waiting for us to get this list done for you. You've been waiting since May, and you are special.
Yeah.
And we appreciate you so much. Thank you for your patience.
Yeah.
On top of that, thank you for always joining us, for subscribing, for sharing our videos, and for sharing our joy in things that we love and not love so much.
Right.
You are
special. Thank you so much for watching Rascal Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a toontastic day.
Peace.